Have you ever really, truly wondered what the point of all that studying is? I mean, it's a question pretty much everyone has asked at some point. Well, I came across one of the most incredible answers I've ever heard. It comes from a story out of Japan where a mother gave her son an answer that completely changes how you see, well, everything. Okay, let's get into it.
So it all starts with this one question, a feeling I'm sure we've all had. Why do we even have to learn all this stuff? And it always comes down to this, doesn't it? Why do I have to study? The son in our story, he asks his mom this exact thing. But her answer, it wasn't a lecture, it wasn't a list of reasons why. It was something else entirely.
So how did she answer him? No big speech. Instead, she used a single, simple object that would become the entire lesson, just a glass of water. I mean, just think about that for a second. Instead of just telling him the answer, she decided to show him. Her whole approach was about making him see it for himself, to let him build that understanding from the ground up. And that was it. A plain glass of water. She just put it on the table and said, "This is the answer." Now, I know, that sounds kind of strange at first, right? But this one simple act is what kicks off this huge shift in perspective. Let's break it down. Okay, so with this glass of water as our focus, we're about to see how every school subject is really just a different lens, a different tool for seeing reality. Each one shows us a hidden layer of the world that's right there in that glass. All right, first up, math. The mother explains that if you learn math, you see this isn't just some water. Nope, it's 200 milliliters. Instantly, it goes from being this vague idea to a precise, measurable thing. Math gives the world dimensions. Then you've got science. With science, you learn that this water is fundamentally H2O. It's made of hydrogen and oxygen. You can see past the surface and into its chemical soul, You understand the invisible building blocks that make it what it is.
Now, social studies. This gives the water a backstory. You learn where it came from, its whole journey to get to your tap. And maybe more importantly, you start to get that having clean water is a massive privilege, that there are people all over the world who don't. All of a sudden, the water has a context, a place in our shared human story. And what about art and music? Well, with art, you learn how to actually capture the way light reflects on the water. With music, you might discover that if you change the water level and tap the glass, the sound it makes changes too. These subjects basically tune up your senses to notice the beauty and the poetry you'd otherwise miss.
And technology? You start to see the cup itself. What's it made of? You start to appreciate the human ingenuity that went into designing something so simple, yet so perfect for its job. You see the hidden creativity in everyday objects.
The study of health makes this whole thing deeply personal. You see that this water isn't just some object out there. It's the very stuff that supports your own body, that keeps you alive.
The humanities add this other crucial layer. Morals teach you the importance of sharing something so vital, which builds empathy. Your own language, well, that's what lets you understand all these ideas I'm explaining right now. And learning a global language, like English, lets you share all this with people all over the planet. And finally, there's philosophy. This is what allows you to step back from all the data, the math, the science, the history, and ask the biggest question of all. So what does it all mean? Philosophy gives you the tools to think about the significance of what you know.
So we've just built up this incredibly rich, multi-layered picture of a simple glass of water. But what about the other side of the coin? What happens if you learn none of this? And this is the mother's knockout punch. She says that without learning, without all these different ways of seeing, the world just stays flat. The water in the cup isn't a universe of science and history and art. It's just water. And that's all it will ever be.
You can see the two realities right here. On one side, a simple, one-dimensional thing. On the other side, a vibrant world of knowledge and connection and meaning. See, through learning, you're not just looking at water. You're seeing volume, chemistry, history, beauty, and health, all at the same time. That is the power of study. So what's the grand finale here? What's the big takeaway from this amazing lesson? It isn't just about cramming your head with facts. It's about something way more fundamental to how we actually live our lives. The mother's final words to her son were these: "This is why you study, so you don't end your life just looking at the world." The whole purpose of learning is to turn you from a passive spectator into an active participant. It allows you to truly experience the world in all its incredible richness and complexity.
So I'll leave you with this thought. The next time you see a glass of water, or a tree, or you just look up at the sky, ask yourself, what am I not seeing? What hidden layers of science, history, art, and meaning are sitting right here in front of me, just waiting to be unlocked? What in your world is waiting to be truly seen?